I don't like this at all.
La la la.
How do I get rid of it? 'Cause it's on my notes.
Yeah, you just carry the notes somewhere and like wiggle the page at wherever
It's
you take
on
it.
my iPad.
How have you never disposed of a ladybird before?
I don't like them. As soon as you move them, they fly at you.
Well, they're not mean. Ladybirds are lovely.
They're not. They're mean. All right,
You've
I'll
got
be
some
back.
issues,
I'll be back
babe.
in 2 seconds because I'm in my
They
drag
can't.
room.
They don't bite you.
Ah, it flew at me! I knew it would. I knew it would fly at me.
Only for hugs. They're like dogs.
They're nothing like dogs.
I should get a headset. How camp would that be if I had a headset? Google. Amazon. Oh my god. Headset. Not like a gamer headset, like a Britney Spears headset. I'm feeling that fantasy. God, with gamer headsets. I'm not that kind of girl. Oh, that's cute though. Oh. Oh. Scroll, scroll, scroll.
Well, I didn't like that at all. Okay. Now that fiasco is over with, welcome back to Best Friend Review, and welcome to Best Friend Review, the podcast.
Even when I was writing my notes, when I was like making the graphic work for this, I just felt like so smart.
We're just like,
oh,
we're
very
just so clever.
intellectual of us.
I love it. I love it. But as usual, I'm Annabelle Lecter.
And I'm Filth, and today we're going to be reviewing Season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World, Episode 1.
I think this is going to be a lot of fun
Oh, yeah.
compared to some of the other stuff that's coming out. Some of the other stuff just feels regurgitated. This feels new and it feels fresh.
A lot of the American stuff has such big stakes on it because, first of all, viewership is higher, but also like prize money and stuff. Whereas because they don't have this feels like they don't have to be as serious.
It feels like they're going to enjoy it more.
Yeah, but like not as much relies on it, so like enjoy yourself, kid.
So let's start at the start of the episode. They do this big intro, what it's going to be. You know, it's on the global stage, and UK is the host nation. And then we go into entrances.
On the main stage, I don't know if you've ever done this before.
Yeah, entrances on the main stage instead of the workroom. None of the franchises in the past have ever done this. Let's talk a little bit about these entrance looks.
Right. First up was Bagger.
Yes.
She comes in basically Diana's dress, a white dress she wore in the late 80s, and it's a full recreation of the entire look.
It is. What did you think of
what
this?
did you think? Oh, cheeky ass first.
Oh, okay. What did I think?
We don't have lag anymore.
I thought it was camp, but then when I saw some of the other queens come out, I was like, oh, not the best look on the runway.
No, not the best, but I think it was really solid. It was really nicely made.
Yeah.
And it was just camp, wasn't it, really?
It was very Bagger.
So next up, the second queen to enter was Blue Hydrangea. She was wearing this wacky cartoon sort of lumpy look. This designer is called Ida, and they've actually done quite a few looks that never quite make it onto Drag Race. They actually did Denali's monster look that we never got to see, but we all saw online that was ridiculous and amazing. So it's really good to finally see them.
Didn't they also do
on the Drag Race?
Teresa's ugly ball look, fashion book?
Did they?
Fugly.
That makes sense, yeah. They've got that. Do you know what? I looked at Instagram and I was just so inspired. I was like, oh, I need wiggly, ugly clothes, please.
What did you think of the look then? Like, for me, it was a bit kind of predictable of Blue.
But I think that's the thing, like, it's fitting for Blue, and I think as an entrance look especially, the whole point was come in on this first one and really just show what you're about and who you are.
Next up, though, was Cheryl Hole, who came in this pink and silver sparkly catsuit with some fur on it.
I thought this was really well done. Very typically what I expect Cheryl to wear.
Yeah.
It was heightened from when she was on this season, but not heightened from stuff that you see her working club nights in. So I sort of felt like maybe they'd all been told you're not going to have to do a photo shoot because no one came prepared for a photo shoot.
No, I think the only ones that came prepared for a photo shoot were like Cheryl, Janie, Jujubee.
Yeah.
That was it.
Talking about Janie JK, our first international girl to grace the UK stage. She came in this blue rubber look.
Yeah.
What's on it?
Oh, you cracked up a little bit then.
Oh, you cracked up before, it's fine.
Okay.
It's just a thing we're doing now.
Okay, we're running with it. Janie, I think that this blue was gorgeous. She looked gorgeous. It was very simple.
It felt very much like this is your first time here. Not a difficult outfit to throw together from, stuff online. And I found it just really, really underwhelming. And it did get me thinking. Obviously, we know what it's like here, drag culture, especially like the Ru girl culture. I wonder what it's like in Holland. I wonder if they get the same kind of gigs that girls would here or in America.
From my understanding, it's similar.
I just wondered because I also know that quite a few of our girls end up going over there to host big events.
Yeah.
So I just sort of assumed there wasn't a load of as much of a culture there. She seemed quite fresh. I've seen,
Yeah, I agree. Next up, our first Canadian queen is Jimbo.
I thought this was quite fitting. It was like a rodeo clown look. We know Jimbo was obsessed with doing this very overly sexualized body. It's something I don't like that Jimbo does. Do you know what? Jimbo's drag gives me, and I know this is very apropos right now, but it gives me a straight man's idea of a woman. I recently rewatched her season and I just kept seeing this oh, I'm sexy, I'm sexual, I've got giant tits, I'm doing this, and I'm oh, it's just a lot. But I thought this look was really fun. And throwing a panini, camp.
Yeah, throwing a panini was probably my favourite part about it. The rest of it, I hated everything about this look. I just didn't like the hair. I didn't like the way the patterning. There's just nothing about this look that I enjoyed. I was just not this.
I like that it looked custom.
It's definitely unique.
Well, how about lemon? So I believe from what I've seen, but I've not had any official confirmation, this dress was made from the coat she walked into Canada's Drag Race in, which was inspired by Rihanna's Met Gala giant yellow coat.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
It absolutely looked like it. I do know it was the same designer, 100% was the same designer. Any thoughts on it?
Now that you said that, I can see it, and I like the fact that it's a callback to her original outfit. She looked stunning. It was all in her colours. It's not
She had my favourite entrance line.
She had...
heard you missed your main squeeze.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I think that was a really fun...
Yeah. But coming into this, you knew I was going to be a lemon stan. I've never stopped being a lemon stan. Can't stand a lemon stan. She measures up for me. It's not delusional love. I am very aware of what she does well and doesn't do well. And she does really good stuff.
Yeah, she's a fantastic queen.
So next up, another first, Pangina Heels, who has obviously never competed. She's the host of Drive Grace Thailand.
Drive Grace.
Season 1 and 2. Drive Grace.
Drive Grace.
Yeah, she went to Drive Grace.
Drive Grace Thailand.
Baby, you're sleep deprived.
Drive Grace Thailand. You were the one who said Drive Grace. Oh my goodness. So, Pangina Heels, the judge of Drive Grace Thailand, comes in. What do you think of this look?
I feel like it's a reference to something, but I don't know what.
I want to say it's either Miss Thailand or Miss Universe 1988, sorry, which was the year that Pangina was born.
I'm Googling. I knew I'd seen this.
Yeah. So, there are references, and I think she looks stunning.
Yeah. She's in a really unique sort of position here.
Yeah.
As someone that's not competed, Drag Race is different to drag, but also she's coming into it already with All-Stars money. I'm kind of interested in what's happening here. I think it's good to make a reference. She really hit this first episode to represent who she is, her country, her culture, and everything that she's, really started on a high.
Yeah, she really did. And I loved the fact that when she came in, everyone was like, oh my God, you've never competed. Yes. How do you feel about that? And Bag of Chips was stood at the side looking at her as if to say, I have not got a clue who you are. She doesn't know who Janie Chakay is, and she doesn't know who Pangina is.
What would you do in this situation? Would you make sure you just introduce yourself to everyone? Because they might or might not know who you are. Unless you're Jujubee, in which case you could.
I do feel like you kind of have to.
Meryl Streep introduces herself to everyone, so all of these girls can too.
Now we'll move on to the American Queens. Before we go into Monique's look, I'm a little bit confused because in all of the Meet the Queens, all of the trailers, she's calling herself Mo Hart. However, they are calling her Monique on the show.
And she calls herself Monique?
Yeah. Are we going to get halfway through the season and she just goes, I don't want to be called Monique anymore.
Maybe it's something that happened after the show.
Possibly.
Because, like, I was told, I've been made aware that her Twitter still says Monique, but her Instagram all says Mo, all of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's as much of a thing, but I've not seen a statement about it, which, if you know you're world famous drag queen, you need to make a statement if you're going to change your name. So I'm also a bit confused.
Yeah, I'm a little bit
what's
lost.
going on?
I'm a little bit lost by the whole situation. Either way, what did you think of her entrance look?
I loved it.
Same.
Head to toe, loved it.
Same. I thought this was stunning.
She brought it on her All-Stars season. She really did.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely thought she was going to win All-Stars 4.
Yeah, so did I.
So I said this was my favourite of the entrance look.
Yeah, it was my favourite too. But rewind back to season 10, you didn't like Monique.
I didn't.
You didn't like her.
She's different
at all.
Nope. I couldn't stand her. And do you know what the main things about it was? She was constantly trying to push this. This is who I think I am, and here's all my different catchphrases, and this is what I'm doing. She kind of kept doing it on All Stars 4, and for most of it, I didn't like her on All Stars 4 either because of that. But just undeniably, she did arguably better than maybe one of the winners. It's very much an objective. I think she should have won, just for fairness. But still, I'm like, oh god, but she's annoying. But now she's not constantly pushing those things. She's just being, which is, for some people worse actually. But even if someone's like annoying when they're just being them, at least they're just being them, and I prefer that. And this look, she looked good.
She did look good. She looked real good. Last but by no means least, the Infinity Gauntlet of Drag Race, Jujubee.
Back in another little black dress. She loves to enter in a little black dress.
She does.
This is the most heightened one. This is the least mall looking of them all. And that's what she says, and it's very true. And they showed all the black dresses, and I was like, oh girl, like, come on, show some of our runways, please. But yeah, it's very solid. For a normal season of Drag Race, I'd be like, yeah, cool, this is what you came in. Yeah.
This is Jujubee down to the ground. I thought it was a bit naff compared to some of the others. How do you feel about seeing Jujubee back?
I mean, we know why they've done it. This show needs good ratings.
Yeah.
She's good ratings, but it's very, very quickly after she was last here.
Yeah.
She does. And that's the only reason I'm like into it, because she makes great TV.
Yeah.
And it doesn't irk me. Also because she's probably again not going to win, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, she's just here to entertain us.
Only time will tell, I guess.
It will. I fully want to let you know that was not any kind of spoilers. I'm just, track record.
She's gonna come third again. It made me laugh that all of the girls were getting along until Monique came in, and then they just started turning on each other, and not just them turning on Monique, but like turning on each other after they'd been sat there for ages and been like, friend.
Yeah.
It properly.
I would definitely say this felt like this stunk of producer to me.
Oh really?
This felt very like. Beforehand, they've gone to Monique, right, you're here because you're loud and you're brash and you're going to pull things, and she's gone, yeah, I need to make sure I get my airtime on this show.
Uh-huh.
And then when she says something, especially you saw it with Blue, who this episode was another one who was there to get her airtime on the show.
Yeah.
And it always starts this back and forth of, I said a thing, so now you've said a thing, so now I've got to say a thing, so now you've got to say a thing. And
there is.
We're just getting a lot of that, but to me, it felt very, they've told you what your role is here, go and do your role.
There is something that I'm going to bring up a little bit later in the episode that has, come out since. But I'm going to just...
I hope it's not the same thing I've seen. Did you see it on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, bitch. We have the same For You page.
We absolutely
it's gonna be the same thing.
We do have the same
Is it from the very end of the episode?
Yeah.
Is it from just before the lip sync?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got the same thing. I'm so prepared for our podcast, our first ever podcast, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be intellectual. I'm wearing a suit. And you can't prove that I'm not. I'm just being intellectual. I've got my monocle in, and I was like, oh, I've got these good details.
She got the deets.
Never mind. RuPaul enters the room on a scissor lift, and This is already kind of stupid, but it's the fact that they do this whole bit where all the girls face the back of the room and then they pretend that RuPaul shocks them as though he's been up there this whole time.
Yeah, I was like, come on now. I just was this is like, you want to talk about producer influence?
I do like the slight, like the bit of me that isn't completely tainted by knowledge, that does believe that perhaps RuPaul was up there the whole time in complete darkness, just waiting. Because that's kind of stupid too, and I love that.
Just lurking in the background on a scissor lift. And then 3, 2, 1, and Rue's in the room.
He could have been hidden behind one of those, I don't know what they're called. You know, girls that like do a lot of cabaret work, they get those like posters that you can pull up on a roll.
Oh, yeah, like a roller banner.
Yes. I feel like he could have been hidden behind one of those.
It's got his own roller banner to hide behind for International All-Stars.
Yes!
Imagine.
I love it. Good way to keep them separated for COVID.
Yeah.
Because wasn't this filmed like in something like July last year?
Yeah, like straight after season 3.
Yeah. Oh God. Well then, yeah, like March.
Something like that. Yeah.
Jesus, that's mad. Oh God, well, blooming wild. But yeah, she did this, and she's here to tell us that the grand prize this time is a duet with RuPaul.
Woo!
Which, like, I mean, it is money. It is money. Well, you know it's money.
No, it's not, because
but it is. A song with RuPaul makes money.
Yeah, but then she says all of the proceeds go to children in need and comic relief.
No. She says a part of the proceeds.
Oh, okay.
So the part of the proceeds will be split equally between children's in need and comic relief, yeah.
Well, I loved that when they said that literally it was only Bagger, Cheryl and Blue that went, oh, that's nice. The rest of them were like...
I think they all got it after children in need, because they were like, yeah, we can agree with children in need. That's fine. We know what that means. And can you imagine how much money a song would make if it was RuPaul singing and then Lemon doing a rap?
See,
knowing what we know about Lemon's ability to sell a song.
That was my other thing. As soon as they said what the prize was, I looked at the queens and went, right, so how many of them have a recording artist voice?
Yeah.
And that kind of made me go, is that going to factor into who wins?
I would go, from this episode, I would say no, it won't. We also found out that this week's main challenge and only challenge is basically the Royal Variety Show RuPaul's Drag Race style. Do you think we're going to get quite a lot of Americanized British references this season?
Oh, absolutely. I think
to really span the thing a bit. Do you know, like in Harry Potter, how they call it candy? I'm getting those vibes.
Yeah, same. The queens going to the workroom for the first time, and there's comments about the workroom, about there not being a leaf on the wall.
It is a fit workroom, though.
It is a good workroom. It is nice. And then some of the queens start gravitating towards each other, and we see... Well, first thing first, we see Bagger and Jimbo.
Oh, Jimbo gets to live out most of the UK's fantasy of rolling Bagger into a wall.
Oh dear.
I mean, you can't say it's not true, you know?
I mean, I'm excited to see Jimbo and Bagger together because they're both nut. And I think that we do have moments where, you know, the queens talk about knowing each other or not knowing each other or not knowing anybody. In the case of Janie and Pangina, they were like,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
they'd never met any of these queens. But there is a moment here where Monique and Jujubee start like... I think it's meant... Like, it was shady.
Yeah.
Some people could argue that it's just them sussing out the competition, but honestly, this was so shady.
It was so shady, but like I said, I can see a producer walking up to them and going, right, I need you to talk to each other about what you're thinking about the other girls, you know, why you think you're going to do better than them.
It does.
Because that's what they do. And then we get the opposite. We get the sort of straight afterwards. Blue's telling Cheryl they were talking about that and they were sussing that. It's not the next day, sorry. They're taking off their makeup.
They're getting out of drag.
I think they're setting up this story of like the UK and American girls versus each other, and the UK is the good guys and the American ones.
Do you think that's why they've called it UK versus the world? Because there's some like infighting coming up.
Well, no, I think they've just called it that, and I actually think we're going to see more of these. We're going to probably see Holland and stuff like that. I think we are going to see them do,
Holland versus
their
the
hosting.
world. España versus the world.
Yeah.
Down Under versus the
Italy.
world.
I could definitely see it with Down Under, but I think we need another season of Down Under yet, which we're getting, I know. I think the more likely to want to do it with English-speaking ones, because
well, that's it.
then they can bring across American girls.
They brought over... They put Janie in because Janie speaks English.
Yeah, very
and,
nice.
There is a couple of other queens in Holland and a couple of queens in España, especially, that do speak English quite well.
Now, speaking about this point, we actually got an English lesson with slang, and I know this felt so weirdly set up, but as much as we have our thoughts on Bagger, I do love that the BBC actually left in Prince Andrew and Pizza Hut joke.
Oh, howling.
Because they took out Prince Andrew jokes from Down Under.
Yeah. I was howling at this moment because of all people to teach you English, bag of chips. Like she says, she's going to teach you about steak bakes, all of that stuff. And then she teaches them things like slapper, dog's bollocks. I'm wondering whether we're going to get a moment like this in every episode.
Oh, I hope not. I don't think it went down as well as they thought it was going to do. I think they're probably going to abandon it. But it's a very us thing to talk about. And now we're intellectual podcasters. Something that I thought was really good was Jujubee sort of noticing and calling out the sexism that is very intrinsic with our derogatory language.
Oh, absolutely.
So the fact that slap it is, regardless of what Bagger wants to say, slap it is a word used against women. And I think we all should have a conversation about this, because far too many of our insults are insults against women, women's genitals, absolutely constantly.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, we do call people a dick sometimes.
I didn't even think of that though. But I think that's because, like you say, it's an intrinsically British thing.
It really is, which is,
And
it's been said before, and it'll be said again this episode, England is a problem country.
I mean, there is your learning moment for the week.
Something we did get isn't really, I suppose, a talking moment for them, but actually could have been, in a way, is Blue sort of calling out Monique on her behaviour the first time they met.
I'll be honest, I've met a lot of Drag Race queens, whether I have been in drag, whether I've been out of drag, whether I've been working with them. And I have to say that my personal experience with Monique was probably one of the worst ones. My personal experience with Monique was she basically told me how to glue my wig down. And then I explained to her that I was about to go on stage and I had a full wig change and a full costume change. So that was why my wig wasn't fully glued down. And it just came across as really condescending, especially from a queen who's lost her lip sync, who's lost her wig twice in a lip sync. There is a level of professionalism that comes with the platform of Drag Race, and unfortunately, some queens haven't got that level of professionalism, and it shows.
And when you're on stage, working a meet and greet, or even just behind the scenes, that's like you working in your office. I'm not always talking to a customer when I'm at work. Sometimes you're talking to someone else that's still, but you're in your office, you're at your workplace. And those are the places you need to come off right. And if you don't, it feels really entitled, because it's like you don't have to, because you get booked either way, because you're famous. And it is definitely something to think about. But also, I was actually thinking on the flip side for me is, there are a few girls that I know that I could have similar conversations with, who basically like she said, I've dined out on stories bad-mouthing a few girls who I've had bad interactions with, but you can meet them one time, and I mean, I obviously, I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to leave the bad story out there in the universe. But that I recently had a story that I've been telling, and I now see them completely differently, even though I've been talking shit on them for about 4 years.
I am confused about which story you mean.
Redacted.
Oh shit, yeah, of course. But
Redacted.
Genuinely did say something really shitty about me on stage while you were stood next to her.
She did, but as a fan of you, I can see a fair comment when I can see a fair comment. It was more how she acted to me rather than what she said about you. It was just a part of it, but yes, no. Sorry to that man. Why did Monique Hart bring up Something Wong's wig line? What?
I have no idea.
It doesn't even stick out as a bad wig line in my mind.
Line, so I was like, I don't get it. Something Wong's bald.
Do you know what's actually the worst part for her? She was working a viewing party as well. So she saw that happen in front of an audience.
Oh no!
So we do, while we're in the workroom, get to see this conversation between Pangina and Janie, talking about how they are the only people come from their respective franchises, and they, deciding whether or not they sort of feel they have to represent their country or whatever. This did make me think about the fact that will production want to make sure they stay in so they can keep bringing in the Wow Presents Plus app subscription fees?
I think it's a possibility. I actually made a comment on this saying that it felt like they are setting up both of them to be around till at least mid-season, and this was something that I could have cut for to reduce the runtime of the episode, but it also felt very necessary for things coming up later on. And also
it was part of Pangina's story,
but it's also the same for like Lemon, Juju and Cheryl when they have their little moment around the table saying, oh, I love that you're here. I feel like, is that going to be something that comes up later on in the season? Yeah,
potentially. And also, I think that a big part of that was learning about Jimbo and about Lemon's relationship to Jimbo.
There's also a little bit in the workroom. It's a throwaway little moment, but also it was really lovely to kind of hear about some of the drag from each of the countries. I am wondering if it's going to be a little bit like Eurovision, where whichever country wins it hosts the next one.
I did think about that, but I think the problem is if America won it, they can't have international girls there. So we're going to head to the main stage.
Yeah.
And RuPaul graces us with her presence in the look she has chosen for the debut of UK versus the World, a brand new element of the franchise that she's involved in. And she wore this. Did you have any thoughts on this?
Do you know what this looked like? It looked like she'd cut up Joe Black's H&M dress and made an outfit out of it.
Oh gosh, it didn't even look that much effort went into it. This was a Fashion Nova dress, and I refuse to be told otherwise. Like, it just absolutely was. This is, I was looking at it thinking, do you reckon she wants Molly's job? Do you think she's going to be she's going to have a collection with one of these fast fashion digital brands?
Oh, maybe. I will say that Mel C is wearing the most Mel C outfit ever.
Yeah, she really went feeling sporty, spice.
Also, she is shady, and I kind of lived for it.
Really? I thought it was so cheesy.
Oh no, I loved it. I loved that she was like taking those really cheap shots at the other Spice Girls. Well, onto the talent show. We started off with Lemon. What are your thoughts?
There were set pieces, there was camp costuming, there was dancing. This rap, the dancing was a little bit underwhelming, but this rap was so good. Like, the lyrics, the way this was written was so good. And genuinely, I was like, oh, this is cute. And then as it went on, I was like, this is relentless. This never stops giving me great lines. And then she just finished off with that jump.
There was like a real nervousness and nervousness.
Yeah, I get that.
Nervousness energy. That doesn't make sense. There was the real nervous...
It's either nervousness or nervous energy.
There was real nervous energy about it. Like, you could see
that.
The cogs turning for what was next.
And that jump was iconic.
Absolutely. That jump off the steps, I was like...
I know we've seen a few of them now. I will say I was annoyed when they, in the critique, said, what would you have done better? And she said everything. I wanted her to go, I'd have added another step, babe. So, second up is Monique Hart with this song about God. What were your thoughts?
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh, yeah, it was all about how God will love you and God is great and we can't wait to be by his side and one day we just want to be blessed by God, but when we meet him, we want him to look at us and say, yes, you are great.
Oh.
Yeah, honey. Oh, not this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it even less now.
Yeah. She looked good.
Did she?
I think she looked beautiful.
I didn't like any of this.
But this song...
I didn't like any of this.
It was really weird the first time, but literally the lyrics were all about God, and I just think this is really... I'm not into pushing religion on people.
No.
Especially Christianity, but also, especially on a queer program, really going in about God and Christianity when so many people have been damaged by God. You know?
Oh, see, I didn't even get...
It just felt really, really messy.
I didn't even get that this was a song about religion, because she came out at the beginning and was like, let me tell you about this drag king.
No.
Did the subtitles lie to me?
It was like... I believe it did, because it was something like, let me tell you. It was like, let me tell you about this God King or something.
Oh, they've changed the word God to drag in the subtitles.
I couldn't swear that's what it was because I don't know the exact lyrics, but it was let me tell you about our king or something like that.
It's the first words when when they started singing were let me tell you about the king. On the subtitle it said the king of drag, but they could have quite easily said the king.
I know what it was.
Is
it
God.
was let me tell you about this kingdom, the kingdom of God. Yeah, it was preachy. It was real Book of Mormon.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No,
thank you. So swiftly moving on to Janie J.K.
There was so much wrong with this. It didn't go anywhere to start off with. When she started lip syncing at the beginning, I was like, what is this?
Really boring backing track as well.
Really boring backing track. I hated this wig.
She gives me Baby Queen vibes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Almost not a single good-looking outfit in any of these changes either.
None of them. Like, you got down to the bikinis and I was like, this looks like a Marco rip-off.
Yes, but at least it looked good because it was a Marco rip-off. And that was the only one. There was like that swimsuit and I was like, this... I even liked it. It worked nice. It was like black and yellow. It worked really nicely with the pink wig. But I was like, okay, you should have walked out in this.
When they said about, I can see the black arms of the coat under the dress.
Oh, those arms.
But then, the second time that I watched it, you could see, like, the bright green bikini under the bright pink bikini. No, there was a lot about this that was so wrong.
It was. And the hits keep coming. Next up was Bag of Chips in a new version of her iconic maid look. Yeah. For her song, which I assume is called Much Better.
Yeah.
I went really mank then, didn't I?
I think that Bagger played to her strengths of doing a comedy live singing number that she lip synced to bad.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about it.
Yeah, I think my thing is that when we compare this with the other things and the way they were critiqued, this was objectively not good.
Yeah.
But it was good in the context of Bagger doing it. It was on brand for her. But objectively, it was bad singing, a bad song, bad moves, bad jokes. Like, it was all just bad. And I think other people would have been judged for that, but Bagger was getting away with it because she's Bagger.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
I don't feel that fantasy.
No, I thought the same thing. I felt like if it was any other queen that had done this, they would have been absolutely reamed.
Yeah.
But I think Bagger's going to get away with a lot because it's Bagger.
Yes, absolutely.
Who was next?
Agree. Jimbo.
So when we were seeing the other performances and it kept on flicking back to Jimbo, I was like, what in the Casper the Friendly Ghost does crack is this? Like, I was not here for seeing that sat there. I was like, I don't like it. I don't want it. Take it away. What the fudge is going on? Not this. I do want to know, there is one question. Was the music added in editing?
I wonder this too. It was so perfectly timed.
It was perfectly timed. And then they started throwing Canadian bacon everywhere. Canadian ham.
Like, when they, like you say, when we saw them in the crowd and then they started coming out at first, I was like, oh, Jimbo's taking a big swing. Yeah, and I literally, until 2/3 of the way in, I was like, this isn't landing. I was almost agreeing with, we kept seeing a couple of the girls being like, what the hell is happening? But when they started throwing that meat up in the air and catching it on their head, and then threw it to Rue, I was belly laughing. I was
cackling. Like the whole, I was cackling, the room was cackling, Rue was cackling.
This was a very specific kind of comedic clown art. Yeah. And it was so well done because it had to be. That kind of act isn't something that you can be as willy-nilly with. Like, you have to be quite precise. And whether or not the track thing is a question for me too, but regardless of what that is, like, just what he did at the right times were good. Really, really, really good. And someone's pointed out, between this doing so well and Willow Pill's talent number doing so well, also being kind of weird and random, are we going to see more and more of this?
Oh, I would think so.
As long as we don't see any more friggin' original songs with someone dancing around to them.
I mean, what a perfect introduction to our next performer, which was Cheryl Hole doing exactly that, lip syncing to an original song.
Well, yeah.
Referencing some of her stuff that has happened in, in her original season.
I do think calling this an original song strikes an odd note with me, like a sore note, really, because this was someone doing an impression of an Alyssa Edwards number.
A little bit, yeah.
The type of dancing, the way she always used to have those tracks that started with like a long time ago, like it was Alyssa Edwards, even that thing, and it was messy.
It was Cheryl like doing what Cheryl does.
Yeah, it was absolutely fine, but I want to not see Alyssa when Cheryl does stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get an arc from Cheryl and that she doesn't go too early. And I need to see Cheryl blossom into something new.
I'd like that too.
Speaking of something new, we didn't get that from Jujubee. Jujubee went and did exactly what she did on All Stars. She went on stage and sang mid-tempo ballady song about something. I don't remember.
Again, not particularly well.
Nah.
It wasn't a particularly great song. She didn't do a particularly great job with the vocal. I thought this dress was nice, but considering what normally happens with Michelle, I'm really shocked we didn't have to have a whole 15 minutes talking about the fact that you could very clearly see her black underwear through her tie. But yeah, I really wasn't blown away by this at all.
No, me neither.
Lower end. But something very new to keep on your thing, who came out with a song, a comedy routine, a dance number, an outfit reveal.
It had everything. It
really did.
This was the one that I was like, this queen knows that she has to prove, not just to the other queens, but to Rue and Michelle and the other judges, that she is fierce competition.
Yeah.
Even because she's never competed before. We've never seen her get judged. We've never really seen her slip up on anything. And this just... Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't know what her drag race story is yet, because this is it.
That's it. She's creating a drag race story now.
Yeah.
Loved it. I thought this was funny. I thought that the fact that she did, I'm going to teach you a dance from the 70s. It's called whacking. And then not only was she like whacking, but like when she started to went, oh wow, so fast.
Did you? I don't know what your drag race journey has been like, but do you remember after season 3 when Manila used to release music and they were like these dance songs, but there was lots of like Manila not doing a very good vocal. And it was clearly all like produced in her living room. Also, do you know who else did it? Pandora Box had a very similar sort of music career, like, all that time ago. This song reminded me of those. It was very clearly recorded on her phone. And I'm not being shady because I know my sound quality right now. But like, I kind of lived for that. I was like, this is her just having started competing on Drag Race, and it just matches up with theirs so beautifully. It was like a piece of art. It was really good.
I loved this. She's here to win this competition, and it would not surprise me in a heartbeat if she makes it to top 3.
I could see that. And do you know what I'm really liking about her attitude so far? I know she has something to prove, but like she isn't here acting like she's got something to prove.
Yeah.
She seems not as phased by it. She seems to be here being like, I'm going to show them absolutely everything. She doesn't seem, I don't know, we might see something different in the future, but it really seems like if they hadn't liked this, she'd have gone, well, I liked it, and I did what I came here to do. I showed off. Yeah, I'm proud.
She has come to kind of learn what she can about the competitor experience, understanding that she does judge the competitors.
Yeah.
And, they've announced Thailand season 3. She's then got to go back and be a host and a judge of Thailand again. So she kind of does have that weight on her shoulders, like she said earlier on.
And I think sometimes the things we talk about, the reasons that we talk about reasons you might not want to go on Drag Race in the first place, or reasons people might not go on All Stars, she really has a lot of face to lose here.
Absolutely.
But I just love that it doesn't seem to be affecting her as much, and I think that's really good.
She's got a great energy.
Talking about a lot of face, the final... I know, I'm really good at this. I should do this professionally. The final contestant for the event is Blue Hydrangea.
Yeah,
doing an original song.
It was Becky, Blue and Claire.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I literally thought you were correcting me because I got it completely wrong. Oh my god. It was Becky, Blue and Claire, and it was an original song comedy with... I don't know what they call it. Is it like a puppet act?
Yeah,
really,
it's
isn't
puppetry.
It is puppet. Everybody loves puppets.
Everybody does love puppets.
Yes, and I loved these ones. This was funny, the song was like catchy, it was well produced, and it was stupid as
Yeah,
hell.
this was the one that surprised me the most.
And it really felt like Blue
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. This was one that surprised me the most. I thought she looked fantastic. And it was
Well,
just silly. It was daft. It didn't take itself too seriously. I loved this.
This is the kind of thing that like I want to see on these challenges. She gave us a couple different things. I know a few of them I have, but like she gave us a couple different things, which was an original song, a lip sync, but also this like stupid physical comedy to it. And in all honesty, when I saw she came out, it took me a minute to realise that there were three of them. Not because I was drunk, but just because she was face on, and it was painted like her from far away. And when I realised, I thought, oh, this is the shtick. I wasn't expecting this really quite like well put together song.
It was good.
Really well put together for this performance.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Next little section of the show is the runway, which is themed I'm a winner, baby.
I'm a winner, baby.
We didn't really get told anything else about what what does it mean?
No, and you know me, I always bring up the briefs that the girls get aren't always the brief, aren't always the title we get told. So I'm always interested in that, especially with this one, so open to interpretation.
Lemon comes out onto the runway, and I was a bit like, oh, so it's a pageant-themed runway, or are they, like, meant to try and emulate a previous winner, maybe?
I literally thought that the thing was just a winner. Just I'm a winner, and it's whatever you take that from. Like, and different people, because there were so many interpretations of it, I think maybe they did get told, I'm a winner, and I think that was probably all they got told.
Yeah, okay, I
Something
can
that
see
represents
that.
winning to you.
What did you think of Lemon's look?
I loved it. I think because it's Lemon, I think it was really, really, really stunning. She looked incredible, she always does. And then it had that little edge of
the
like
lemon wedge boobs.
The wedge like chest plate. Yes. I said wedge because I assumed it was lemon wedge, but the colour wise it looked a little bit green to me, and I was like,
trigger from her elimination. Spoilers.
It could, but she does cute things. But I love that she said this was the idea was it was the little girl pageant girl that she did on her season that she actually won that week, which was iconic. And she wants to do the grown-up version.
I enjoyed this.
Felt like a good elevation of it.
I thought the colour was gorge. I loved the like little lemon slices. The hair was beautiful.
She's one of those queens who there are a lot of queens who like adopt a colour as their colour, but she is one of few that she's picked a very weird colour to adopt. It's not like a nice blue, but she really does the length and breadth of yellow. Every shade of it. She does beautiful things with it. She's not stuck in it the way that Tina Burner of NSYNC fame was. With that red yellow thingy.
Tina Burner.
Lemon understands the assignment.
Tina Burner of NSYNC fame. Not this. Not
that.
This. Next up was Monique Hart / Mo Hart. What did you think?
I thought this was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It was green. I could tell it was green, and mostly because she said it was green. And this designer was the same as her entrance look designer, which you could see it, but beautiful. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And she did look really, really gorgeous. And this was a really good example of where cultural costume can meet drag and be huge and over the top, as well as honouring the culture you want to honour. Next up we had Janie. She came out in this sort of nude with red on it. I'm going to say I don't want to describe it too much because it's quite open to interpretation, this piece, I think.
I thought this was stunning. It did kind of remind me of like a cross section of
like a nervous system, like those pictures of a nervous system.
I will say that when it did the close up and I saw all the stoning and beading on it, I was like, chef's kiss. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I do wish. Well, as soon as I saw that it looked like a nervous system, because it really did, I wish she'd sort of lent into that a bit more.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think this was I know it was very like worked on, but in a way it was quite a simple, beautiful gown. And I wish there'd been an extra element, like how Lemon had the wedge boobs. I just wish there was a little, there's something extra to it, especially considering it already looked like a load of veins. It's very much taking your idea and going, okay, what's the next step to this?
I feel like if she did lean into that a little bit more, we would have kind of started gravitating away from You're a Winner, because she wanted it to look pageanty. Okay.
So talking about a soft tit, Bag of Chips came out.
No, I hated this.
Yeah.
No, go on.
I thought the construction on this was incredible.
Yeah.
The piece, it was a freak couture piece.
Yeah.
He does loads of stuff for the girls. He made the maid dress as well from her number right here in Manchester, and does some incredible work for the girls. This makeup, I kind of hate when someone goes, oh, it should just all be gold, so let's just basically paint my entire face gold. You're still in drag. Put me a drag face on, thank you.
For me, it was jarring that the face didn't match the gold of the outfit. And like you say, there was no kind of contouring, there was no kind of definition, and she looked like the sun from the Teletubbies.
Oh my god. Oh no, my headphones. That's completely... Maybe lose my headphones.
She looked like the sun from the Teletubbies.
She absolutely did. And this could have so easily just been like a mask as well. They could have done, like an angled mask that actually matched the Oscar.
Yeah.
Super easily.
The thing is, they could have done it if Bagger had done like a traditional bagger face underneath, held the mask in front of her, and then moved it away. Like, there's, for me, it just felt like an Oscar was an odd choice when she could have done like a Brit Award, which had a bit more to it.
Yeah. Oh, also, I mean, yeah, definitely. There was something that really put me off about the fact that this was a dress. When you dress as an Oscar, why would it not be a nice long jumpsuit?
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's go ahead on to Jimbo in a black and white chess queen look. I don't know if you've seen the controversy around this.
I know that there is a discussion at the moment as to whether this makeup was regarded as blackface and whether it was too close to minstrel makeup. I'm trying to be very aware of how I say this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah.
Now, I know that there are a couple of queens of colour and a couple of performers of colour that have gone, Jimbo was not in blackface. But then also...
There'll always be both sides of every discussion. Even, I mean, literally someone could come out and say I was in blackface and there'd be someone that says that's not blackface. So there'll always be both sides. So I'll say when they first came out, I want to say neck down and forehead up. This was the best look on the runway this week for me.
Yeah.
This was Jimbo, but heightened. And it wasn't focusing. I mean, there was a giant rack there, but it wasn't all focused on sexuality. It was actually focused on shape. Really nice.
Yeah.
What I'll say about the face is the design on the cowl hood piece exaggerated like a weird shaped chin that felt very much like a drawing from a time of a black person would have been racist.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said that where it really becomes an issue is so much of the face was on show and then they did a white lip.
Yeah.
Which is very minstrel.
Yeah.
I think like there's a very fine line, and I think that's why there's so much discussion around it. Personally, I just wouldn't have done it. I think when just on a very literal level, I think the basics of it are, if on a very literal level you are painting your face black, there is a chance you're doing blackface.
Yeah.
Like I say, it really shouldn't need to be a big discussion. Unfortunately, because actually this dress was gorgeous.
The dress was stunning. Yeah.
So well, another queen that hit the runway this week was Cheryl Hole.
Yeah.
In a white and gold gown. How are you feeling about this one?
This was a really simple white dress with some Christmas star ornaments attached to it. Honestly, as she was coming down the runway, I thought that the bit that was at the back was going to like fold up and be a full star behind her.
I see that.
And then it didn't, because she keeps on doing this whole I'm a star thing.
I'm a star.
No, didn't love this. I loved the hair and the makeup. Didn't love the outfit.
Yeah, she looked really beautiful. I did quite like the outfit. I thought in this one, the simplicity was an important part of it, and it didn't make it feel. It was to me, it was simple rather than basic. Like it was purposeful in its simplicity. It was about highlighting these gold accents, and I just really liked it. And I think it felt like a really good, solid, safe look. Basic dresses continue the trend. Next up is Jujubee in a sequin dress. She looked really beautiful, but this was basic as hell. And also, I feel really stupid because like I don't care about this stuff, but when we're talking about how they judge other people, this dress was not lined.
No,
and you could see the seams inside.
No. Do you think this was one of the dresses that she had for Queens of the Universe?
Could have been.
Yeah, let's move on then to Pangina heels. What did you think?
I didn't write a lot about the dress. Something that I've felt all episode with her is I kind of want to see her in more makeup.
Yeah,
I know she had a whole forehead
see that.
painted shiny, but like, it doesn't feel very drag to me.
Okay.
And I want more drag.
If you go and look at a lot of the Thailand queens,
I know
that's
a big part of that drag culture.
Yeah.
Is it's more about like semi-female illusion. Yeah. I wanted to say illusionation. Yeah, and I do get that, but I want to see her in more. I want to really see her in. I don't need like a Raven beat. I don't need like a India Farah sort of. I just want to see her in like a paint. I want to see her with a slightly more cut cheek. That's all I want. I just want to. It does feel very much like her chapstick and mascara, as they like to say, and it makes it difficult for me to enjoy the clothes because a lot of her clothes haven't been particularly big and bold and draggy like a lot of the other ones have been.
I do think that there is like a little bit of a subtlety to some of the stuff that she has worn, but I also think that to do a big, bold, brassy, draggy version of what she did wear would have not hit the mark as much.
Possibly not. And I think there are lots of these things, like I feel stupid saying them because we're on the first episode, we've seen like 3 looks from them, and they're going to show us all different things going down the line.
Yeah, I
but this is what I'm hoping
we
to
will see. Especially seeing Pangina on Drag Race Thailand and seeing some of the looks that they do on that, she's going to bring the draggy, trust me.
I hope so.
Another point of contention here, what did you think about these like aerial jokes that were coming from the judges?
Aerial jokes?
They kept on making like Michelle said, oh, I've suddenly got 5 more channels on my TV.
Oh, yeah, so I think they made some Eiffel Tower jokes as well. Oh, do you know what? When you said Ariel, I was thinking about Little Mermaid, and that made no sense to me. But yeah, so it's really difficult because I don't know that the judges knew what this was. I don't know if they hear the description coming down the runway the way we do.
For me, it was more... This felt really disrespectful of somebody's culture because...
It did, but if and this is the thing, they can't be whether or not they knew.
They can't be that culturally insensitive that they've never seen. You know, they can't be that culturally insensitive that they have never seen. Like there are, you know, quite famous Thai statues that have this kind of headpiece on top. I
mean, they can be. They're 2 famous fools in all reality. You know what I mean? So they really can be that ignorant. It feels like maybe something that a joke that they should have made. We do it. A joke that you make that whoever edits it goes, am I leaving that in or not? No.
Last up was Blue Hydrangea in this kind of day glow neon fantasy with this big. This wasn't this
runway to me.
No, me neither.
This wasn't any kind of winner runway. I couldn't even see some kind of what the interpretation was. And in fact, she didn't even defend it, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't for this runway.
No, like for me, I saw this and went, I'd expect Blue to wear this at a gig in a club. Yeah. And it also felt like it could have been have been a reveal as well. Yeah,
I did wonder, maybe Blue Red, like a winning look or whatever, maybe she thought, I'm going to do a final lip sync in this, and I'm going to take the crown.
Maybe.
And maybe she's then walked the runway being like, I was meant to be doing cartwheels and an outfit reveal, and then getting the scepter and not looking a bastard the way some of them do after a lip sync.
Not looking a bastard. Oh dear.
That was right. So that was the end of the runway, and it's time for critiques. And we also find out that they don't say it in the right words, but all-star rules are in effect.
Yeah.
I will say that this wasn't necessarily my bottom 3. It probably was my top 3.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I would say they definitely they saved Jujubee from a bottom 3 for me.
I feel like they saved Jujubee from a bottom 3.
Yeah.
I could have.
And really frustratingly, I think Lemon shouldn't have been in the bottom 3.
I agree. I think that Juju should have been bottom 3. Lemon should have been safe. Janie Bag of Juju.
That
bottom 3
feels like my bottom 3 this week.
Yeah.
Sorry, the top two. They were my top two.
Yeah, I agree. Jimbo and Pangina.
Absolutely believe it, yeah.
Absolutely top two. No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
We're going to the workroom untucked moment, though, and there was a couple of things that I know that we mentioned them before, you know, Jimbo and Lemon, there was talk about their history before, but
yes,
the TikTok, you've seen the clip on TikTok where
yeah, we've seen the same.
They're at the viewing party, and apparently Jimbo was like, "I'm never gonna eliminate you. You're my sister."
Which she did say. We did see that.
Yeah, but then like.
She literally sat down and she said that bit, and then they literally cut to the other bit. They didn't even take out the bit where she said, "I'm never going to send you home." She literally says, they all say how amazing she was. In fact, do you know when they're sat in the big group and they're asking Lemon how she's doing, and she gets upset because she's not got the feedback she expected. No. And I think that's a very fair reaction because she's not got the feedback I expected.
Yeah.
But they're all like, "Oh my God, no, you're amazing. We can't believe you're there. We're all shocked. We're all absolutely shocked. You did such a good job. It was really well." And then they're like, "And how do you feel?" to Janie. And she's like, "Oh, you know, like, it's not good to be in the bottom." They're like, "Oh, yeah. No, it's not. Oh." Because, like, hers was completely fair. Like, it was just so awkward to watch.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yes, sorry, carry on with our tea.
Oh, yeah. Apparently producers stepped in and went, "We just have a little bit more mystery." And Jimbo went, "But you never know." And I am wondering, like, did Pangina and Janie have the same kind of thing?
I do wonder that, yeah. Yeah, especially based off what happened.
But other than that, like...
But yes, that...
My heart broke for Lemon in this.
It broke for me. As soon as she hit the bottom, I thought, this is not on. But there is absolutely no way someone is sending home Lemon in this pairing.
But this was before Come Through and how iconic she is.
Yeah, I know that bit, but still, no, from her season. She was iconic from her season. And then also, just in this episode, she performed so much better than Janie.
Yeah, I've got to agree.
I just couldn't see it. It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I do think that Lemon was stronger than Janie, unfortunately, and they kind of tried to say.
I think it was miles.
Yeah, they tried to say that it was about originality.
Yeah, and to me, what this really robbed me of was because I knew we were going to be filming this. I've been holding in this joke for the longest time that I've wanted to put on social media. And obviously I can't do it now because I was waiting for, you're going to ask me who do I think is going to do really well in the competition, and I'm going to say, well, obviously Lemon is, because all these other girls, they keep coming back and they are begging for the win. But Lemon doesn't even have to ask for it for her to get it. Oh, and she went. She left. And I was so ready. And I was so happy.
And that's the end of this week's Best Friend Review. Goodbye.
But, I mean, literally, it was one of those moments where I was like, do I really want to keep watching this programme?
You were just like, no.
I was desperate for Lemon content, and we're losing it. And like I say, I don't feel this was justified. But I'm going to say this thing that normally you would say. Do you think Jimbo threw this lip sync?
Oh, 110%. I think that Jimbo did not want to be the one to send Lemon home. But also, I saw a little bit of the glint in Jimbo's eyes that said that was like that attitude after season 1, because I saw that firsthand at Jimbo's show. They're very bitter.
Yeah.
They were very bitter after season 1.
Yeah.
I do think that they threw the lip sync, but also I really wouldn't be surprised next week if Jimbo pulls their lipstick and it says Lemon on it.
Yeah. To me, I very much got the vibe that Jimbo had a big decision on his hands.
Yeah.
And didn't want to make it and didn't want to put it out there. I believe that he's going to pull out Janie's lipstick.
Right.
And I think the rationale will be, in my rationale in their position would have been, I can't look like I was going to send home Lemon. I think there was probably a little bit of that, the dread of being in the top 2 of All Stars. You have to make a decision. Yeah. Regardless of what happened in this travesty of an episode, are you still excited for this season?
I really am. Like, I am so excited to see more of Pangina, because I'll admit I didn't watch a lot of Thailand, but I think she smashed this episode. We got a really good taste of what she can do as a drag queen. Absolutely heartbroken that Lemon's gone. But I think I would have been heartbroken to see any of these queens go.
Even Janie?
Apart from maybe the American ones.
Yeah.
Just because I'm excited to see more of them.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see
what else
and that's
what mostly I'm sad about with Lemon, because I was really like, I need more of what Lemon had. I was desperate for Lemon on an All Stars after Canada's Drag Race. I was like, some of the girls need to come back for an All Stars, and I was like, she's gonna fucking rock it, and I think she would have done. I genuinely think we're losing out here.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Think the rest of the cast, it's a great cast. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
I'm excited as well. I don't think that we've seen the last of Lemon. I think if anything,
I was sat watching her do a little exit thing, watching her write a message, thinking, you better say she already done had hers. You better say it, television. You better fucking say it. I was desperate for something. Not getting it. We know we're not getting it. There's only 6 episodes. I'm going to say at this point in the show, I think we should start doing this every week. At this point in the show, based on everything that we've seen, who's winning this season?
Pangina.
Okay.
Think about. I've just got to think about what the prize is, and
yeah.
I just think that doing Rue and one of their guest judges from another season doing a song together would be campus tits. What about you?
I think based on what I'm seeing on every part of it, I'm seeing a Jimbo win at the moment.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think RuPaul really likes to play favourites, and Ru loves someone ridiculous that makes them laugh.
Yeah.
That is Bagger and Jimbo, but Jimbo can bring the runway in a way that Bagger can't.
Yeah.
And I think just that marrying up of ridiculous comedy with fashion is, I think, Ru's really going to give it to them.
Okay,
I think they're going to get carried a long way. Obviously, things can happen, but that's just currently based on everything, editing and prior knowledge. Like, I just think that's my current one. Yeah. What were you doing?
Something that I want to do at the end of every show is, I know that we're preaching to the choir with our fans and our listeners, but go out and support these queens. Go and follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever else, what other platforms they've got, and remember,
especially Lemon. She's barely got any followers on Instagram. It's ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's not even got 300,000.
Oh, okay.
I know that's a lot for us, but like for a Ru girl, it's not.
No, I know. There's a few in like the 1 million club. But also, let's not send hate to any of these queens. I know that Pangina has been getting a lot of like threats and racist comments and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like we've said, this cast is a phenomenal cast, and it is made up of stars that we love from other seasons. And there is a high possibility that your favourite is going to get eliminated when you least expect it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, underneath all of that makeup, there is a person. And
they can read those messages, and they are no different to any drag queen that you see on the street.
Yeah.
The only difference is that they're currently on your TV, and which means that they have a bigger audience. So anyone that attacks them is, you know, if you decide you're going to attack one of the queens you see out on Canal Street, you might be the only person attacking them. If you attack someone on TV that's done something you didn't like, you're going to be one of millions. And
it just goes to show that the fan base can be really toxic and can be really damaging. And the difference between, you know, having a go at a queen on the street and having a go at a queen on the TV. The queen on the TV is going to read those messages and not going to be able to come back at you. If you said something like that to a queen on Canal Street, either they're going to lamp you themselves, or if you're somebody that they know, it could quite easily they'll just go to the police for harassment.
Yeah. Also, please don't take this as a challenge and attack me, because I'm not a puncher.
I might be. And on that note, that is the end of episode 1 of Best Friend Review for UK versus the World. Don't forget to like the page on Facebook at Best Friend Review, and you can keep up when we've posted. We're going to be posting on Spotify, YouTube, and any other platform that'll have us. But for now, I've been Annabelle Lecter.
And I've still been Filth.
And that is the end of the first episode. We'll see you in a bit. Bye!
Bye! Oh my god, no, I can't. No one can see me through my book. Ah!